Welcome back. Today is day 50 of Getting to Know God with the Children's Bible. My name's Amanda and welcome for joining us. Today's story is called Frogs, Flies and Hail, which can be found in Exodus 7 to 10. God had promised Moses that he would be doing many terrifying things to make the king and the people of Israel too understand that he was able to rescue his people. Moses and Aaron went back to the king and warned him that if he did not obey God and set free his people, all kinds of misfortunes would come upon Egypt. But the king simply laughed and refused to pay any attention. God kept his promise and 9 terrible disasters struck Egypt, all of God's commands. After each one, Moses went to the king and gave him a chance to change his mind and obey God. But every time the king hardened his heart. First, Moses lifted his staff on God's orders, and the life-giving water of the river Nile, which supplied all of Egypt, changed to thick, red, oozing liquid. Then frogs jumped out of the foul water and hopped everywhere, into the houses, the beds and the ovens. At first the court magicians copied Moses, showing that wonderful tricks they could perform, but they could do nothing to cleanse the Nile water or get rid of the frogs. The king was sorry for himself. He promised Moses that he would let the people go if their God would only take away the frogs. Moses prayed to God and the frogs died. But the moment the trouble was over, the king changed his mind again and said no to Moses and to God. Then God sent stinging, winting gnats and fat, buzzing flies. Each time the king promised Moses that if God took away the plague, he would let the people go. Each time Moses listened to the king, and each time the king changed his mind once after the disaster and refused to let the Israelites go. Cows, horses and donkeys died from disease, and the people themselves broke out in painful red swelling boils. But still the king said no. A storm broke and huge hailstones rained down like bullets, but still the king said no. A plague of hungry locusts came like a black cloud and devoured all the crops. After that the land was purged for 3 days into black inky darkness. In Goshen the people of Israel were kept safe from their troubles. God had proved that he was stronger and greater than all the gods of Egypt and their clever magicians. But still the king said no. What do you think about that then? That king just stuck his heels in. And it's not too dissimilar to many people. They will say, no, God didn't do that for me. No, it was me, or it was my family, or it was this who saved me from bankruptcy. It was this, it wasn't God. No. How many times have you denied something that no man on earth could have changed or done? How many times have you said, no, it wasn't God. God's not been involved. God's not been involved in your healing. God's not been involved in your marriage. God's not been involved in your child's recovery. God's not been involved. Let me tell you, God is always involved, because God is the creator. From the very beginning in Genesis, the first few pages are just about the creator. God created light and darkness, light out of the darkness. What was his first command? Let there be light, and there was light. God created trees, animals, fish, sea, sun, everything. God created it all. So for you to say that God is not involved in your healing, your transformation, your child's healing, your anything, then you maybe haven't got glasses on to see that trees are made to suck up the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and give oxygen, which we breathe in. Who designed that? Scientists? No. We can't deny that God created the world, and in the world you are today, and so obviously my beliefs are my beliefs, your beliefs are your beliefs. I will respect your belief, even though it differs from mine, and I believe that as God is the creator, that he creates everything. He creates everything, even if it is something that scientists have made. He has inspired that creation. He hasn't inspired people to become evil and greedy, to want to harm other people just because they can then be on medication for the rest of their lives, which will bring them in a fortune. God didn't create that. The devil created that. And we have the difference between God and what he creates, and the devil and what he creates. And the devil is a liar, and he is good at copying and imitating what God did because he is a fallen angel. But we deny, just like this king denies all of the troubles that have been brought upon him and his land, and he denies his word. So he's not a man of his word. He's just a liar. He will say anything to stop the plague for that time, and then as soon as it stops, he'll change his mind and say, I can't be bothered now, I'm not going to do that. Are you like that, or am I like that? This is a good time with all of these stories just to think about what you and I are like, to analyse, to reflect, to think about. Because tomorrow we can only be better, or we could be worse. And I choose to aim to be better than I was yesterday. God bless you.